Hey Truth Tribe, good evening to you. Welcome in from sunny, hot and mystical Cyprus. Okay, so you're just going to have to turn your volume. Yeah? Cool. All right, guys, thanks for joining. Hey Jill, how you doing? Just setting it up right now. We're going to be talking about how Fusion 7 healing changed our lives. So just hold your horses a moment whilst I flip the screen. Hey guys, welcome in. So just moving you over with me now. So I'd just like to welcome all of our replay viewers. Hi everyone. Hiya, how you doing? So we're just welcoming our replay viewers who are replaying or reviewing from Periscope. Let's just see that we're both in volume off. So who are watching either from Periscope or who are watching, hello Christiana, how are you my darling? I'm just playing with the screen and adjusting, so just bear with us for a moment. Can we see you?
I think so.
Let me move it over a little bit. I can't see you.
I'm getting a little confused right now with the phone. Okay.
Okay, don't worry. Just put it on silent. Okay. So no, a little bit over here. Because there's two people to get in the screen. That's it. I think we're both in now. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So just again welcoming the replay viewers and welcoming everybody who's gonna watch, who is watching on catch.me/fusion7healing. And please go ahead and share either on Twitter or share with your followers. We'll really appreciate that. Thanks. Who said that? It's Christiana. You know what? The screen's a little bit back, so I can't. My vision's not that great, so I can't see it very well. Maybe you can.
But no, I can.
The writing, you can.
Yeah,
You've got it right.
I find it right in front of me.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So welcome in. Thank you for being here. Christiana's laughing. And as you can see, I've got my intrepid co-host with me here this evening, Elena Manuelis. Yay! Everyone do like some of this stuff, like this Periscope emoticon stuff to welcome Elena in. Yeah, Helena! Yay! So, like we've been really stoked and really looking forward to this scope tonight because we're so, there it is. Oliver's got the hands. Thanks, Oliver.
I like
woo,
this.
woo. That's what they do in the United States, isn't it?
Oh,
They all do that noise. Woo, woo. We don't do it in England, but I know you Americans, you do that. Okay, really raise the roof. The roof is on fire. Yeah. Okay, very cool. So, you know what, on these, I nearly said blabs, on these scopes, you know, it's always about me doing the talking, so I'm so excited to have Elena here and allow her to do some of the talking, yeah? Us silly Americans. You're not silly. Okay, so Elena's going to do some talking for us as well, and I'm going to not introduce her, I would like to introduce herself. So, Elena, my darling, can you just let the guys know who you are and a little bit about you before we get into the into the thick of it? Yeah.
Okay. I'll keep my introduction very relevant to my connection with Fusion 7. So, my name is Elena Manuelidis. I haven't pronounced it wrong before. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, I was born in America, by the way. I just wanted to mention that.
Elena, what's your Twitter account? Christiana asks.
Okay, my Twitter account is Elena Manuelidis, but I'm new to all this social media, so that's why I just want to let you know that I have joined Periscope, but I still haven't got a profile in. You know, I don't dive in like Helen. I walk in the shallow end, slowly, and I'm observing. I'm totally a big fan. Can't wait to get part of it live. But yeah, anyway, I'll let you know, as soon as I get that organized. My name is Elena, like I said, and yes, I'm born in America, just so you Americans, feel the solidarity here in Cyprus. Okay, my parents are Cypriot. I've been living in Cyprus for years.
That's Elena, by the way. Dando is Elena. So if you click on her name when she comes up, you can follow her also here on Periscope. So if you type just something in again, darling, then people can catch that.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right. I'll just do hi. U.S. and everyone else. Okay.
Cool. And then they can just tap your name and you can follow her also. Yeah. Here on Periscope.
So we moved to Cyprus from America when I was around 10. And when I was around 15 or 16, I met Helen here. And she was still in the UK. She was one of those cool people that came in on holiday in Cyprus, you know, the trendy one, and the cool move. She was a cool dancer and all of that. So with us here living in Cyprus, you know, when I moved in Cyprus in the early 80s, there wasn't even cereal. Yeah. There was nothing, you know, so we were always like, ooh, so like fascinated by whoever came over from the UK. And Helen was one of them. And, you know, very cool and everything. So that I just mentioned that because I kind of saw her at her cool hip-hop, trendy kind of phase. And she was this, you know, cool chick. And then, and of course, then I went back to America to study. And everyone, you know, went on their own way. And then years later, when I used to come and visit Cyprus for vacation, you know, I heard Helen was very sick. And it was, you know, when I was in my 20s, I didn't know how to handle that. Like, I couldn't even go visit her because it's uncomfortable. And when I heard it was that serious, you know, almost like a void. You know, when I was 20, I didn't even know how to deal with illness, or I didn't even know that it happens to us at that early age. So anyway, so through the grapevine, I heard it was really, really serious. And then all of a sudden, you know, after a few years, I see her, you know, on Facebook. I decided to, after long, create a Facebook account. And this was like early November in 2011. And she has this page, she's posting this page. On 11/11/11, she was going to have a meditation here at, you know, at the school here. And I was like, wow, what is Helen up to? I had, you know, because I had this big chunk, this big gap of time when I, you know, that her illness, and then what happened after that. So then I came here, I brought a friend here with me, and we had this like amazing meditation, this experience. Remember that? And that was like the beginning of, you know, this whole journey right now. And I was just so like fascinated with Helen and her transformation. Really, it was so inspiring for me, knowing someone in real life, because for years and years and years, you know, I was on this quest. I was on a search. I was seeking. I was reading all the books, going to the group in America and Cyprus, whatever I can get my hands on. And there was always this searching inside of me to some understanding, this inner thing I was searching for, whatever it was. And then when I and 11/11/11, that was the beginning of the end of that search, but the beginning of this new phase in my life that Fusion7 Healing provided. It you know, for me, it was this portal, and I was telling Helen I can't find another way to define it for myself, because it is an opening. That the search is over, and then the exploring and the discovery is within it all the time, and through all the courses, it's just constantly evolving. And what I wanted to say with that is, one of the reasons, apart from watching Helen evolve and transform like that, she's a mentalist. You know, she's a skeptic herself, and that's what I trust. That's what gave me the authenticity behind the work she created and developed. And I myself am as well, I would say that, although very spiritual, but also coming from that background. I went through my gullible and vulnerable stages and sifted through it all. And, you know, that's why I fully feel like I'm in really good hands. I've always been skeptical. I think it's good. I think it's still good to be skeptical, you know.
It's healthy, right?
It's healthy, and if you know it, and it's different being suspicious, and it's different being skeptical.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's why, you know, after finding Fusion, Of course, I still read and everything, but I'm not on that search. I have my manuals. We have our group. We have our team, and it's just an ever expanding experience.
It's quite holonomic, isn't it? Which means
Yes.
it includes everything in a way. It can be a healthy part of the process. Yes. Hey Philippe, how you doing? Thanks for joining, honey. We're just discussing some fusion stuff in the house. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
I wanted to just go into a little bit before we move forward, because people want to know the benefits. Yeah, you know, what's the benefits of engaging in either the work that we're doing. We're sharing like little pieces of fusion work through Periscope. But what is the benefits of Fusion7 Healing? What were the benefits that you experienced?
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to refer to that because I need to put that out there, because I think there was a lot of people like myself who are that have that seeking and searching and that thing, and then being a skeptic, I found this kind of this knowledge, you know, compiled and packaged anyway. But for me, and that's another thing I want to mention, that we're very,
hey,
very
Tony, thanks for coming in.
Spoiled, you know, being a part of you know, the team, the Fusion7 Healing. We do still continue on. We're learning. We're teacher students at once. But Helen goes out and really does the field work, the legwork, the dirty work. She goes out all over the world.
I like the dirty work.
All over. I'm not going to go to Peru, she is, or wherever, all over the place. She can go and do all that stuff. She can do the global hip hopping all over the world. And she does that. And she can do that. And then she comes back and she compiles this complete, comprehensive understanding of these new wisdoms. And she puts it together and she goes through it, right? And she discards whatever, and then she just presents it to us and leaves it in you know, in a beautiful course or workshop, and then leaves it to us to assimilate, yeah, with our own way, on our own time. The experience in every classroom is something remarkable, and there is a shift there. But once you leave the room, it's really up to you. It's your own responsibility, and that's something. Again, that fusion wants that being independent, yeah, you know, doing what you want with it, having that, not being dependent on it.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, I really wanted just to say that, and my own personal experience. You know, at the time, you know, I have to refer to the dates because it was January. It was the first foundation.
It was the first foundation we ever taught.
Yeah, and I feel so honored being part of that first one. I loved it, and that was it. You know, that was the beginning of a new foundation in my life. You know, everything from there. Then it began a starting point. Like my biggest quest in my spirituality was, you know, coping with my personal relationships, whether it was, you know, my ex-husband, the marriage I was in, or my family. So these were Helen was her illness, the big growing pains, the spiritual growing pains. Mine are through my relationships. So, you know, I was very, very unhappy for many reasons in my marriage, and I was always trying to find the way to fix it, to do it. I was very dedicated, and I just couldn't. And then when I began to apply, you know, the healing, you know, everything changed. I was able, after, you know, we were together for 17 years, married for less, but I was able to, you know, part from that marriage, and then, you know, my life just really turned around. I mean, I got a lot of love in my life. I entered another relationship with a lot of love, missing pieces, and full discovery, self-discovery along the way. I mean, a lot of people go through therapy, and a lot of my friends do that. I think I always felt like I needed it, but I never did it. I wanted to be a therapist, but then I felt I needed therapy. But this was my, if you want, therapy. And it just, and you apply it to yourself. My whole life, you know, I'm a single mom right now. My whole life, my relationships transformed completely, and that's the area that I am and I was really focusing on. But right now in different areas, even there's other areas in my life that still need work, that I didn't focus on, and even the little bit that I do, I get great results. And of course, I became a facilitator through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now Elena also, just like myself, facilitates professionally, and she was also a member of the first group of teachers that I taught as well. And when did that happen? Was that in January?
No, after, I think.
So it's beginning of this year, wasn't it?
No, maybe March.
March, yeah, it was around March, maybe. 2015. I conducted my first teacher's course, so I've now trained others that are now able to teach Fusion 7 Healing Foundation. And again, because Elena has to be first in everything. yeah, it was, wasn't it, Chris? It was March. So, she is also a teacher in her own right also now. So our quest is to spread the knowledge, right?
Yes.
Whether it's to facilitate or whether it's to give other people the tools to help themselves, that's kind of what we do. And it's very multi-dimensional. It covers all different areas of all different challenges that we may be facing as not just as human beings, but as souls on our eternal soul journey. Yeah.
Which brings us to the blab tomorrow.
Which brings us to the blab tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, because it's relevant for
what
you just said.
Yeah. So a quick mid-scope announcement is that tomorrow, I haven't actually put it up yet. I'm going to put it up as soon as I finish. We're going to be conducting a blab, Eleanor and I. And it's going to be titled something along the lines of Fusion 7 Healing and Exploring the Applications. So with the blab, we're actually going to go into the detail of the tools, how we use the tools, and how they can be used to create these really powerful, transformational effects in our lives. Isn't that what we're going to do?
Yeah.
And that's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern European, which is 7 p.m. Cyprus time. So just putting it out there, and I'll post it on Twitter and whatnot. Hey, how you doing? Who is that? Star Sapphire. Hi, how you doing? I think you were in yesterday, right? Yeah, I still have a problem with the names.
And it's grey. You can't really read it from here.
Yeah. It's the iPad. Yeah, you were. Yeah. Okay, so Eleanor, what was it that you wanted to expand upon with that for Truth Tribe here? Thank you. I really appreciate. Thanks, Ash. Really appreciate that. Thanks so much. So, if you are not following, please follow to keep up with the latest. Either myself or Dando2002, which is Eleanor. So follow us to keep updated and to be notified, because these scopes that we do are educational, okay? They are educational, so, you get value for your scopes, whereby you can enter into a realm of developing and upgrading your consciousness exploration technology. Central Bishop Stewart. Bishop, is he? Where is he? I didn't see him. Okay, Bishop, show yourself if you're in. I want to see that you're in. So it's consciousness, evolution, technology, and if you follow either myself or Eleanor, you will be notified of these wonderful educational scopes that are very transformative for you. So Eleanor, over to you with what you wanted to add to what we've been saying.
I wanted to add something that you just said right now, right? When you say consciousness, evolution, technology, right? It could sound really intimidating and really high up there, right, as a title. And maybe some people, that attracts me. Yeah? That language, that terminology, that is a big, that attracts me. Some people, right, can be like, what on earth is that? What on earth is that? And that's the thing. I mean, that, like you archived your scopes, and you can see that there is this whole macrocosmic knowledge and wisdom out there, which Helen goes searching for that,
I
right?
do.
And then
that's my nugget.
that's her nugget there. Yeah. And then, of course, it all relates microcosmically down to us, yeah, in our everyday life, that it can be applied in and that's where it's this, you know, it has this not hard, this like real sophistication to it, right? The knowledge and the wisdom, but then it becomes so soft when applied. And you can get a gist of that softness through the processes that, you know, because I follow them. You're in
the right place, honey.
Looking for that wisdom, yeah. Yeah, like I said, you can. There's that softness. There's that mix in it. There's that sophistication, you know, that appeals to, you know, people like us who are mentalists as well. But that softness that everyone's soul needs, that tenderness. And it's really
comes from heart and
from
soul.
the heart and soul, exactly, from within, that tenderness, and that's really like that balance between in that fusion holds, and those are the spaces that can be created where these miracles, because I like using that word a lot, I won't hesitate using it, and the miracle frequency. So Paris will love you.
Oh, it's Bishop. Hey, Bishop,
yeah.
Thanks for joining tonight. Welcome. Thank you so much. By the way, guys, you need to follow Bishop Stewart. Bishop Stewart is my mentor, okay, my business mentor, and he's always slapping me up because perhaps I'm a bit too sophisticated in my approach, and he's teaching me to kind of like bring it down, like Elena said.
Because
so that it can be a lot more applicable, and for more people to be able to engage and approach. And that's something that I'm learning, and it's like I have to reprogram my consciousness. And Bishop Stewart is the one that's helping me do that. So you want to follow him, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Richard's handle? I don't know who they're talking about. Who Richard is. Okay.
It sounds more complex than what it is. Yeah. It sounds more complex, but it does add the you know the seriousness, if you want, of the work. But then when applied, you know, it's really, we won't want to say, it's not basic truths, but it's just all based around truths. And truths are simple. So they're very simple and they're very powerful when applied. And that's really the general kind of, you know, feel of the volume of the work, really. It's really, really much more simple when you apply it. And it's extremely, extremely powerful and transformational, hands-on, and in all areas. In all areas, you know, in the simplest, you know, on the most everyday, mundane thing, you know, to the most, you know, thing that's so impossible to achieve. It's all the time. We're in it all the time. You know, it's omnidimensional. So I find it very difficult. You're looking for a miracle. Well, it's right inside of you, really. Look within.
Yeah.
Look within.
It's just the look within thing again. And it's just that with fusion, what we do is we have the very specific tools to help you to access and locate that truth and bring it out to the surface in your highest expression, yours, not mine. See, Eleanor doing all of these classes, or the work or the facilitation that she does, it's not about her regurgitating what I do or what I am. It's about bringing out her highest expression. That's what it's about.
Yes.
We don't want to box anybody into anything, because sometimes there are modalities or there are spiritual or religious approaches that when you get into it, you will get boxed in. They will say, well, this is how you have to do it. This is something that exempts Fusion 7 healing. We don't work that way, okay? It's about developing the greatest potential of each self. So when I look at each of my facilitators and each of my teachers, for example, everyone has got their own unique expression, and I love that. Yes, you must find your own path, and that's what this is about. It's about finding your own path, but bringing it out in the best possible way that you can. Yeah.
and your unique way. It's
In your
all
uniqueness.
about freestyle.
Yeah.
What it is, what's given to you in that parcel I mentioned earlier, right? That comprehensive compilation is a set of metaphysical tools, right? That and then there's some that I haven't used since foundation, since maybe not some, maybe one or two, that I just, because of the whatever the clients I have or my personal needs or the people I help, don't need them. Do you know what I mean? It's just other things resonate more. But and that's what it is. There's no way. There are outlines. There are templates. They're suggested, right? The tools are there, and there's suggested ways. But then every one of us, every single one of us, does it uniquely in their own style, and hold sessions that way, groups, workshops, everything. Right? We have that liberty to do it our own way. We're not like restricted. Oh, you have to do it like this. None of that.
And that's why it's called fusion.
But of course, there's one condition: that it has to be with integrity.
Absolutely.
That is like a big, or else you're out. That's the only kind of, I think, strict, hardcore rule that you've always kind of
integrity, and the compassion, for example. That comes back to the some of the we discussed some sacred virtues on previous scopes. So being virtuous, and the application of cosmic laws, which I have mentioned are immutable, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't resonate to that, but that if you study metaphysics, you will know that there are immutable laws. So those are some of the foundational aspects that just are. So when we have a comprehensive and holonomic, which means whole, full understanding of the laws and the virtues, that's the only rules that you need to apply, okay? Because we don't want to violate anybody, we don't want to force anybody, and we only want what's for the highest good of the person, of the recipient that is involved, and also with their permission to do so. Those are the basic rules. What is this? We're scoping about Fusion7 healing. Sometimes this happens.
Okay,
We're scoping about Fusion7 healing and how it benefited and changed our lives. And I invite you to go back to replay to catch the beginning of it, if you will, after it's done.
I just wanted to add something. When you're saying the integrity and the virtues that we have to work from, some of one of the courses, the sacred transformational templates.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that involves there's sacred geometry, numbers, codes. I mean, the knowledge in that that particular course. I'll just highlight that could be totally misused, and it is being misused already out there. It's not as if like Helen has the secret codes or whatever. It's a compilation of these sacred wisdoms, But and a lot of people, we all have access to this, but misuse it, manipulate it, decept it for corruption, for control. So these are really serious tools.
Exactly.
I mean, and you can't play around with them, and you have to be very careful. Obviously, Helen, very careful. In what hands they go into.
It's back to the integrity.
It goes back to that, because those are very, very powerful tools. These are in the more advanced courses. But still, you just have to be really, really careful.
It comes back down to occultism, right?
Mm-hmm.
The word occult means secret knowledge. That's what the word actually means. Occult comes from the term secret knowledge. That's what it means. Now, occultism has been very much tabooed, okay? When you hear the word occult, a lot of people were like, woo, it's all woohoo, But the truth is that all this knowledge, that's why it's called Truth School or Mystery School. The classes that we teach are Truth School or Mystery School. But it is occult knowledge, okay? But what happens is you can take the knowledge, and as Eleanor very eloquently put, this knowledge can be very much be abused, okay? Love that you were talking about this. It's so important,
Very, very.
And so what happens is people take this secret knowledge, okay, abuse it, and then it becomes dark, what is known as dark occultism, or dark occultists use it. So the fundamental wisdoms, Truth Tribe, are actually all the same. The universal principles are all the same. It's just a matter of how do we use it then.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. So if you use it to help the self, to help another with their permission, okay, then you are using this occult knowledge with light, with integrity, okay? But if you are using it to manipulate or to violate, then you are actually putting yourself in the bracket of black magic. That's the absolute truth of it.
Yeah.
You become a black magician. That's what you do. And I'll give an example of that. Sometimes people will come into sessions and they will say, I need to heal from such and such a situation. Can you make him or make him do this, this and this? And I say, well, if you want to make somebody do this, this and this, then you are dappling with black magic. It's black witchcraft. Okay, that's what it is. If that's what you want, then you've come to the wrong place. Because Fusion 7 Healing was developed to help and assist self and others, not to manipulate other beings who have, performed injustices against us.
Of course, and violated and removed free will. Basically, it's violating someone's free will.
Exactly.
Completely, yeah. We have a lot of experience with
Definitely.
that, a lot which we can get into another time.
Yeah,
another time. But definitely. But it's like you said, it's just all energy. And what is that? Glad to hear you say this. Yeah,
you're welcome.
I was very, very intimidated and scared by the word black magic. I didn't even want to look into it before fusion, and then you when you understand how the metaphysics generally about energy, then you just know it's just a manipulated use of it, as simple as that. And when you're aware of the tools, when you know how to use the tools and everything, you can deal with it, you can manage it.
It's like a lot of people, illustrating what you're saying, a lot of people have very dark or misconstrued ideas, programs or beliefs about money, for example. Especially in spiritual circles, they will say money is the root of all evil. This is like a collective consciousness programming, that money is the root of all evil. Money is bad. Money equals gluttony. Money equals destruction. But these are just collective programs, okay, that we need to remove ourselves from. It is just a form of energy, It's a form of energy. It's a form of keeping the balance between giving and taking. The word is a scary word for people who don't have the knowledge and a clear understanding. Bishop, absolutely.
Definitely.
So true. And I just want to give another example, which is yours if you're
Go ahead.
Do you remember in the Sacred Transformation Templates course where we were looking at all of the geometries and we came up with, was it the pentagram? Or the pentagram?
Pentagram.
And so Eleanor opens her manual, right, and she sees this image of the pentagram, and she was like, oh my God, this just reminds me of black magic. I don't want to do this. I don't want anything to do with this. This is scary. Do you remember that?
Yeah, vividly.
Right?
Vividly.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And so it's because of all the corruption of that geometry, which actually exists today. Who's laughing? And all the way up to Washington, D.C., they use this shape in order to manipulate power. I'm sorry, but it's absolutely true. So it's all out there. People up there in places of higher power know all about their geometry, and they all know about their occult truths, and they know how to use it, and they know how to abuse it. And we know all about that. And so what we do is we inform people about the abuse. The Pentagon, exactly. We inform people about the abuse, but we take it one step further than that, and we go into transformational processes to release anything that is connected to that abuse, like we did with you. Like you had trauma.
I had trauma,
right?
Attached to
that. So we released that.
I remember. Vividly.
It was very cute. I was laughing at her.
Vividly. Yeah, it's incredible. And again, we did that through the tools.
That's right.
The other, what we learned, and then we got rid of that, basically. I wanted to something when you mentioned about money. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's just like everything else is. It's just a form. Contact Helen.
Oh, it's, yeah, she's putting information through. Oh, it's Chris doing that. Thanks, babe.
Okay. So with money, it's everything is really neutral. Generally, it's all neutral until we charge it with something.
Okay, so we've got how long does it take to go through courses?
Okay, I'll tell you my experience with that because I was a part of the first foundation, and Helen was developing the courses and the advanced courses. They were along the way.
Right.
So basically, you can probably that took me maybe 2 years or 2.5, because until you completed Samapana.
Right.
But then now because they're completed, it's different. It's really different. Maybe you could even, because they're running all year round, so you could probably in less than a year, maybe. Yeah. Probably less than a year, because you were developing them at the time. So that's why whenever one course was created, we attended it, but now it's much shorter to complete all of them. Yeah, really. Yeah.
But the other thing is that one doesn't necessarily have to do them all. It's a matter of resonance, like what it is that sort of connects with you. Some people found the benefits of the work and they just want to do it all.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
but you don't. What I'm saying is, it's not prerequisite to do all 13 classes or retreats, because there's 13 of them.
But some are open to people who haven't done foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some are you need foundation. It's prerequisite in order to go to the next one because it's based on foundation applications, and some are open to anybody and everybody.
Yeah. I'd like attending all of them and retaking them. That's what I wanted to mention because at the beginning, as soon as we Helen started it, after we took the foundation, it was just like 7 days, and you have like this ton of information, this huge manual at the time or whatever, and you're like, oh my God. And of course, while I was taking the course, there is transformation going on. And then we would do like small workshops to recap or read, and then that was very helpful to apply all this this knowledge, this new knowledge. And then in the meantime, when your book came out, all right, and the foundation course is actually in the middle of the book. And when I got the book and I was reading through the foundation course, remember I told you that. I had another experience, just reading through the foundation course like that. And that's why, I tell people to get the book, because even if you can't attend the course, reading through foundation course is a transformational experience in itself. The words, the frequency, when you see, it's about frequency, it's about vibrations, and it's all in there. And
it's up there.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So even reading through the foundation course again, I have the experience to say that was again transformational. And then of course taking the teacher's course to teach foundation course was another again shift in consciousness. So we're or even assisting some foundation courses for you. Again, always receiving, always a student at the same time, always a student, always learning, always transforming, always evolving, and that's the beauty of it, and that's really the big philosophy behind it, right? Yeah. That constant evolving consciousness and shift in it.
And we something that I've said before in previous scopes is that I like to always say that I always remain a humble student, even though being in teacher mode. Because if you think that you're above and beyond everybody else and that you're better and that you know it all, then you're just falling into a big ego trap, and you actually stagnate. You stagnate. So especially with things to do with energy and vibrational frequency, we always need to be open, to have our ears as much open as much as our mouths are. We talk a lot, and always reciprocate and communicate honestly and humbly and openly, and being vulnerable. You know, these are very, very important qualities.
Very important.
For fusion, anyway. I like to have these qualities open and accessible and visual for everybody. You know, and I know that Eleanor does the same.
Oh yeah, definitely. In even in private sessions, again, it's a learning experience. It's incredible what you can receive yourself while you're trying to offer or give or whatever it is, guide, coach. It's constantly, everything is. It's just you know, generally you just learn to see with a new set of eyes. Or whatever that force is behind seeing, it just gets a new lens, or the other filters are removed. You hear differently, you understand differently. Everything feels different anyway, and that's part of the shift in consciousness, and that's why it actually, you know, is in your everyday life all the time. If you're like that, that's when you experience life differently. With those new senses, your intuition is different. You know, you know, it's not about getting more refined, but we're all designed with these things. We're all set up, and it's just the use of these senses just becomes more cute. But just, you know, I don't know how to explain it exactly, because it just always gets sharper, clearer, whatever.
It becomes upgraded.
Yes,
yeah. Inner alchemy, definitely.
Inner alchemy, yes, yeah.
It becomes upgraded because what happens is, as you work through the Fusion 7 healing processes, the filter of your perception becomes thinner. So what that means is what you think and believe, it starts to become more aligned with universal and cosmic truth. So by developing your intuition, your filter of perception becomes thinner, which means that basically you suffer less.
Yes.
You suffer less because you're coming less from the dense human 3D perspective, and you're more aligned with that deep gut feeling, your intuitive perspective, which is basically the harmony and the song of primary source.
Yes. Yeah. Right. I just want to add something here. I slip, you know.
So do
I slip. I want to get that out.
Yeah.
You know what? Everyone does.
Yeah.
Everyone, whoever we kind of like, you know, right? Well, suffer less. Truly powerful. So many are suffering. Yes.
Bishop. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if we, you know, we are faced with challenges, and you know, we always are. I mean, that's, you know, part of the journey. They're not as challenging, and the suffering is less, and the intensity of the suffering is less. Decreases. The drama decreases. I could have a dramatic moment. I could be whatever, but it lasts so longer. It's not as long. It's just like could be hours, whereas before it was years, days. Honestly, the depression did all of that. It's just so short. It's shortened so much. And then, actually, even in moments, although we don't have to go down that lane, even in those moments in suffering, when you have this awareness, it just takes this instant. It's just a spark, an instant, that when you're there, it shifts everything. It's an instant, but the effect of that instantaneous thing that switches or happens is eternal. And that is where you know, that's really the shift in consciousness that takes you in a different place, whether you're in the same situation. Yeah. And you can handle everything, you know, you can manage everything from there.
Yeah, you can manage your challenges and your adversities and your pain and your suffering. And that's really, I guess, the you know, illustrating the highest benefits of what we do with Fusion 7 healing. It is not just to shift consciousness, as Eleanor put it, but also to be able to eliminate or diminish the intensity and the frequency and the duration of our suffering.
Yes.
that's really, I would guess.
But now that you said it, the shift in conscious, that's again one of those like fancy terms, the Fusion 7 healing, which is just to say that it's all this simplified like that, but that's what it means. You know what I mean? In the deeper sense of, not the deeper sense, but you know, you can get that when you're, I don't know, all right, forget about what I said, but shifting consciousness means all of that.
All of that.
All of that. All of that, yeah.
But you see, some people don't realise that it means all
that.
of that.
It means all of that, and it has to be kind of broken down. I think that's one of the things that, broken down to that level.
It works in liaison. So what happens is that you do work on the self to shift the consciousness, which decreases the pain. And you also do work on the pain, which increases your consciousness.
Yeah.
So they're part and parcel. Part and parcel. So was there anything else that you wanted to sort of like add or say, Eleanor, before we sort of begin to wrap?
No. Yeah.
So if there's any questions, any questions or comments that you would like to bring to the table, you can. And just whilst we wait for a few moments, whilst you do that, we just want to again re-announce. First of all, thanks for joining, thanks for following, and thanks for sharing. Swipe right to left for iPhone, up down for Android to reveal your share and follow options. Also want to add quickly that tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Eastern European, which is Cyprus time, myself and Eleanor will be hosting a blab, which is roughly going to be called Fusion 7 Healing, exploring the applications in all areas of life. Thanks, enjoyed it so much. You're very welcome. Ageless, put your name up again, my darling. It's gone out of my head. Do forgive me, but I'm not very good with the names. So we'll give you a shout out if you put your name up again. So we'll be blabbing tomorrow evening. Please follow myself on Eleanor here on Periscope. And you can follow me also on Twitter at Fusion7. Thank you, Michelle. Sorry about that, hon. I'm just really not so good with the names. So shout out to Michelle. Thanks for joining, hon. So you can follow me on Twitter at Fusion7Healing, at Fusion7Healing. Come over and like the Facebook page where I post loads and loads of stuff on there. And that's Helen Christodoulou. And also LinkedIn if you are into that. And I'd really like to thank especially Eleanor for joining me tonight. For joining me tonight.
I was so excited.
I'm so excited about doing this. Really. Yeah, Eastern European, which is 11 a.m. CTS. That's Central.
I know East Coast, West Coast. I know we're 7 hours ahead of New York.
Right.
So that'll be 12 o'clock noon time in New York. Mm-hmm. And then I know from California we're 10 hours ahead. So that would probably be 9 o'clock a.m. I don't know Central though.
Well,
I don't know.
The way it works though, Truth Tribe, is that if you follow me on Twitter, as soon as I develop the blab announcement, it will come up on Twitter. And if you go to the link, for the blab, press the link for blab, it will say to you, subscribe. As soon as you subscribe, it will tell you in your time zone how many hours away it is from the time of when the blab's going to start. So nobody loses out. But you need to subscribe, okay? So if you subscribe, then you will get a notification of the blab. So 2 hours ahead of CA.
So they're 8 hours behind. We're doing 7 p.m.
So that'll be morning time for you guys, right? Yeah. Is that
around
right?
11 a.m. Yeah. Probably.
But just subscribe to the blab from Twitter and you will get the notification of when it's about to start. Yes, so were there any more questions before we exit the house? Okay, and for extra info, fusion7healing.com as well, if you want to go on there. And you can also find Eleanor as well on Facebook. You're on Facebook too,
aren't you?
Where else are you situated?
Just started right now. I just joined everything. Yeah. Thank you both. You're welcome.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. That was Christiana. Okay. And don't forget, you can re-watch this either here on Periscope.
What is the process to become a facilitator?
How long does it take to heal yourself? Right, so 2 questions have come up. So to become a facilitator, there are some courses that are prerequisite. I'm a little bit anal when it comes to training facilitators because I don't want them to have a little bit of the knowledge, I want them to have it all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So there are some classes that are prerequisite in order to facilitate, and of course you would need to have healed a bunch of your own stuff, because you need to be at a level whereby you can be fully available to assist your students, or to assist your clients. Okay. So there are some classes that are prerequisite, and I think it might be about 6 or 7 that are prerequisite.
Yeah.
Yeah, in order to facilitate. So yeah, that's the way it goes for facilitation. There was another question, but I missed it.
How long does it take to heal?
How long does it take to heal? Oh, that's so individual, you know. Because I had not yet developed fusion yet, it took me about 7-8 years. But for Eleanor, who took all the courses, it took...
Mine was very quick.
Mine was very ready.
Yeah, mine was very quick. Yeah. Even tomorrow I can even share that experience. Well, at least with one major thing was I couldn't get out of my marriage. I didn't have the strength. You know, I wanted to do it for years, and for various reasons. And one of the courses, of course, I did the foundation and a series of them. But within 6 months, I think. We did the higher purpose alignment.
Yeah.
And then and I think that's one of the courses that are open.
No, it's not.
Is it closed? Is it in?
Closed.
Is it locked in?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one needs foundation.
Oh, that needs foundation. Okay. So obviously, I did the foundation, a couple of courses after that, and as soon as I started, because it was a very, very difficult period in my life, I couldn't apply everything. I got the experience from the foundation. I did some application. It was very challenging. And then as soon as I started to apply, the higher purpose, coaching client just arrived. Got to go. Also,
okay, Bishop. Thanks so much for joining. I appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
And don't forget to join Bishop. Thanks very much. Take care and have a good one. Lots of love from Cyprus.
Yeah.
And us.
So as soon as I started, it was just like breath work, really, and a few of the exercises, just doing them daily. We need consistency. Consistency is a must. Application, or
action.
It just becomes a shell. No, application. So anyway, and it was just, I think it was weeks, maybe, not even 3-4 weeks. Things just kept on happening, the synchronicity of events, and it was almost effortless for me to get out of this situation. Yes, it increases vibrations.
Yeah, it does. But that was a real big one for you.
That was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge, and it was so kind of short, the time, because years I tried all different ways, to fix the relationship. And then to get out of it, because I couldn't fix it. So it was, yeah. But anyway, that was that was less than a month.
Yeah. So very powerful. I don't want people to be tripping out on speed, because, lots of people are into the speed game and the instantaneous stuff. And sometimes it is very fast. And yes, speed is an element where we speed up the healing process. But don't become a speed junkie. We need to honour our own divine timing when it comes to healing, okay? So to answer that question, it's very individual, the length of time that it's going to take. But in a nutshell, it will definitely decrease the amount of time that you heal, because the processes are so powerful.
Yeah, and generally, once you begin to apply everything, urgency is one of the things that kind of is removed out of your life. We all start with urgency. That's what I mentioned earlier with the searching. There's an urgency, but then it kind of falls into place, and then good answer, and then you kind of you get out of the time frame. time is not an issue. Time, you're out of time.
We're going to do time scopes.
Yeah, time scopes, yeah. So, and then you become, and you know, you're just out of time. You're not bound by time anymore because you this space created, you know, the healing space that's created, you know, you're within that space and there's so many things happening at the same time, you know, parallel to each other. So urgency is removed completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's general, I would say. That's not just like individual, but I think generally that
the whole of humanity is suffering with time issues anyway. And we'll scope about that.
Yeah.
So with that Truth Tribe, if there isn't anything else, then I think it's around the time. I usually I don't like to scope for too long because people do lose interest and they've got things to do, and we do honour people's time. This one was a lengthy one, but it was like more of a special feature this evening. Okay. So thank you for sticking in. Elena, any closing, any conclusion before we wrap it up?
You know, just always start from a place of truth and love, and that's you know, that's my thing. Truth and love. Start from there.
Absolutely.
And carry on.
Truth and love, guys. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. I really am honoured that you were a part of it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And that you're a part of it also.
Thank you.
And we're going to be blabbing again tomorrow evening, so I will post about that a little bit later on, so you can get on Twitter and you can subscribe if you want to join our blab tomorrow evening. So with that, Truth Tribe, may truth and love always be the guiding force that is with you. Maria, my darling, you will have to watch on replay because we are just about to exit. And we will be seeing you tomorrow, won't we?
Yeah. Okay.
Imaste. Truth, love, and light.
Good night.
Imaste. Good night. Peace out. Ciao.